What is this? Means what's the background of it?
Okay, welcome to directorywebinar.com, webinar number 34. Today, as Yakin just asked, challenge funnel. We're going to get into that today. We've been doing funnels on these webinars, I don't know, for probably a month and a half or maybe 2 months now, going over all the different types of funnels, how to execute that on your brilliant directories, how to build that in, et cetera, et cetera. And today we're on challenge funnel, and so we'll get to that in a little bit, and in just a second here for the presentation on that. And just as always, if anybody wants to talk about anything specific, I could toss this over to you, Yakin, as well, since it's a rare treat to have you on here. And if you want to take the floor or talk about anything from your perspective, what you're working on for your business and your clients, feel free to do that. I don't want to put you on the spot, but feel free to do that if you want. And then any other questions that anybody else has of how their business is going, any issues they're having, or any questions on any BD recent features or anything that they want to ask, feel free to jump in and ask those questions. So anything just right off the bat, anybody have any questions on anything or what they're doing in their business right now? Actually, Yakin, I got a great question for you. And again, if you don't mind talking to this real quick, if you're willing to do that. I noticed on the forums there, you mentioned that you were able to get somebody's directory or working on a plugin for having multiple top-level categories. Do you mind just talking to me about that real quick, or how that's going, or what if you're able to do that, and just maybe something that you could offer up to people if they're willing, if they want to add that in there?
Correct. So multiple top categories. What we do generally is core customization, and I can really show you a quick demo of something. Is it something where I can share something, or how is it?
Yeah, let me go ahead and let me see if I can give you what I'm going to do. Let's see. I'm going to try to give you the presenter mode here. Just give me a second. Oh, you just go ahead and talk there real quick, Yakin, real quick, and then I'll set this up for you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Jeremiah is here. Jeremiah has joined. It looks.
Yeah.
I can just see his chat. Okay, so.
Okay, I'm just gonna invite you to the event as a presenter there, Yakin. So just go ahead and grab the. Actually, hold on. I need to. This is my to-do list for this next week. Is figure out how to invite member presenters better here. So hold on a second. I apologize. There we go. Okay. So I just grab the link in the chat there, Yakin, and just go ahead and click that link. Or you may have to jump out and come back in using that link. But that's the presenter.
Okay, you there. Can you delete? Yeah, you can delete this link. I have copied.
Was that?
Yeah, I've copied it. I have copied the link, and I'm joining through that.
Okay. We'll just wait till he gets back in the room there. There we go. All right, so Yakin, you should just be able to. You should have a plus button in the upper right-hand corner there. Just go ahead and hit the plus thing, and then put start share or share screen. There you go. Perfect. Do you want to make sure you connect your audio? I'm not sure if I can't hear right now if you're talking. So.
Okay, am I
There we go.
audible?
Yep. Now we're good.
So over here in the contact details form, generally we do have a question, top category. So we generally remove everything out of there and we put everything in here. So this is what we have done in some of the cases where the website owner is willing to have an ability so that members like multiple a big store who does several things. So let's say Amazon as a physical business with 25 story building and the company name is Amazon. They sell A to Z several things and they have to list on multiple top categories. So this is where the top category is, this is where the subcategory is. So this is how it
Okay.
works.
Does that allow subcategories too? Or is it just
Yeah, it brings in, yes, it brings in subcategory too. So
okay.
I don't remember on top of my head that which category
Okay.
has sub here, but it does. For example, I think in shopping it does all the
Okay. No, that's
things.
fine. I just didn't. I
Sub,
just
yeah.
want to ask that question. That was the first thing that popped in my brain there.
Perfect. So it does both the things. So this is something, one of the rare requirements we get. 1 out of 100 people, just someone who is doing trying to do something completely different based on their personal wish,
I
personal
must have the
strategy.
other. I
Yeah,
must have the other 50 people that want to do it. That I've been helping because I get it a lot. Yeah, I can actually. In
yeah,
fact, literally just had one today, right before the call here. So here's the use case for their business. Because sometimes this happens a lot for especially local businesses or local directories that are using up all the levels of the category. So in this case, it was somebody who had a local directory and wanted to have wedding services inside of their thing, but because they
correct,
had a wedding services, the photographer, like the flowers, for example, the
correct,
flowers was already in another category. It was just in the normal retail or the shopping category under shopping and then flowers, right? So it's a flower shop.
correct,
So
correct,
so they wanted but the wedding or events was another top level category. So they had a lot of businesses that wanted to do be in the wedding category, but also needed to check the box of shopping flowers. But they couldn't do that because they had posted under weddings, right? Because they do mostly wedding flowers, but also they'd sell just normal flowers for a normal flower shop. So so anyway, that was just the one that I had today. So it does come up a lot.
yeah, it does based on in some of the niches. That's the problem, like as you said, like in wedding organizers. So yeah, I understand that. So we had built this kind of solution. This is a customization, it's not a plugin, but yeah, the logically it can be done, it's possible.
Great.
So that is it.
Sounds good. Hey, since you're presenting, I just saw something else there too, and I'll just let you jump on your bandwagon here a little bit more. Do you want to? Can you go over the form settings or whatever? Just kind of talk about some of the other customizations that you can potentially do on like the search or the forms or whatever. Because I noticed you had the hours thing. I don't know if you
Correct.
want to fix
So
that real quick.
what we have is this hours kind of thing. So this is inspired from Google My Business, where we can just let the system know when we are open, and are we open 24 hours. If not, then when we are open and what is my close time. So something like that we have over here, and based on this, in the search results page, we can build some of the options. For example, I have to stop and share it again so that
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, something like this. So that in the search results page, what happens is, okay, this is a wrong example. Sorry. So on the search results page, we can have open now and opening soon. So the business is based on what we have inserted over here. Based on this, in combination with the website time, which is visible here in your admin panel, what happens is the system calculates and it shows open now and closed now
Now, real quick
elements.
question on that, Yakin,
Yeah.
is I actually had a question on that. Is that system time is that is that kind of better for one time zone in one area? So, like, if you're like the entire country and you're in Los Angeles, but you're is that where the server's at or where you're located at? Is it the server?
No,
or?
right. Yeah, this example is based on the server
Okay.
where this server is located, but we can even build it based on the user's location, the user's
as
time
an
zone as well. Yeah.
offset from the server time, basically.
Correct.
Okay.
So we can build the system which knows where the user is browsing from, minus or plus the server time, and based on based on that the logic can flow in.
Okay.
So that is that is some of the things we have done in this client. There are some other options as well. Means there are a lot of things which can happen. For example, business highlights. So people can select all these highlights, and based on what they selected on their search results page, detail shows up.
Is that did you add that to the search menu, or does that just show up as a comma separated thing on the the highlight? Okay.
We have it here. So business highlights are something like this can go. Let me give you an use case of a hotel. And is it eco-friendly? Is it pet-friendly? You can put things like that. So based on that, people can even search from here that I want a business which has free parking.
Right.
So
yeah, and that's additive, just like everything else, right? So you could pick a category, right, and say I want a business, a restaurant, right, that is pet friendly.
Correct. So some other good things which we have seen has worked last year. And last year, when I say last year, means in 2019, and in 2020 it was a kind of more than half of the year the businesses were closed. So one very good thing which has worked for some of my clients are best in class. So best in class is something like where we go to the local businesses, we say them that we are going to give you a best in class certificate. You can frame that certificate in your reception, and in the listing we can put it like best in class schools. So based on whatever negotiation happens, if someone is on your paid membership plan, you can make them best in class, subject to legitimacy that you don't give someone best in class that actually is not worth it, irrespective of whether they pay or not. They should be really worth it, plus they are paying members. So what we have done is a plugin where you can put in best in class. Basically, you can create unlimited best in classes. For all the best in classes, you can assign individual icons. So you can create best in classes, you can put in icons, and then in the member selection, you can just go to that member. Let's say this is one of the test member, ABCD space EFGH. So ABCD EFGH. So I can assign them. Okay, so basically this particular member is not in one of the membership levels which we have defined in this program. This was our test account. Yeah. So
No,
basically,
I get it though.
you
Yeah.
understood
Yep.
the logic, right? So
No,
in
this
this
is
logic,
awesome, Yakin. I love it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you can change the icons, everything. You can just define over here best lunch place, etc., etc. So whatever you define here, these icons go and sit here, and people can even search from here. Means this makes a kind of business, directory business is of three things basically, which I have learned in last decade or so, or any web business to, or any kind of business to an extent. Uh, One is the kind of problem we are solving and how we are solving. So this is something which solves a problem. I have my top dollars to make my purchase decisions. So if I have my top dollars, I would like to have best in class. Means I am okay if someone charges me $20 a meal or $35 a meal. Why don't I uh, get the
Right.
best in class, right? So that's one kind of the problem I'm solving for my consumers. And there are another two things which works very well in business. So uh, on that two things that all the businesses are dependent is how we satisfy ego and how we satisfy emotions.
Yep.
So this particular thing satisfies ego to your few kind of customers, and it also satisfy emotions. Means it makes an think about it, that someone who is paying you for 10 months and all of a sudden covid or something comes in, for example, and they were paying you $50 a month, they won't all of a sudden stop paying you your recurring fee, irrespective of they get leads or not, because this status they will lose. They have been best in class for 10 months. Their competitor is best in class for 10 months. Now, if they lose this status, and if their competitor continues paying you and they retain this status, that will damage. Means this is a kind of emotional attachment, this status.
Yeah, and so this is great, Yakin. We actually talked about that in another webinar. So what they're basically doing is it's the WIFM principle, right? What's in it for
Correct.
me? When you're going to advertise for these businesses, it's really great to be able to tell them what they're going to get, and when it's something tangible like that, it becomes more valuable to them. So just think about how many times you've gone into a restaurant, or like he said, if there's a frame on the wall that says best of the city, right? And they have an award or a certificate, or even better, you could just buy a plaque or like an actual award that they put on their counter. You see this all the time where it says best of your city or whatever, and it's got your domain or your city on there that they get. And then they're able to retain that, and then they're looking forward to doing that year after year. And of course, like you said, they don't want to lose that. And so
Correct.
you could do that. You could do we've talked about this before in a webinar. You could get one of those little clings or whatever to put on the window, like where it says we take MasterCard. You could get a cling that says best of whatever, and then put that in their window that says best of whatever 2021, because when it rolls around to 2022, they're going to want to pay you for next year's thing that you're going to go slap on their window for the following year or whatever. So it provides something tangible to provide them value. And so we've mentioned this before a lot of times in the webinar too. It's not always about your directory as well. It's usually something else too that your directory in either is a catalyst for, that enhances, or something that you're supplementing your directory with, that in combination with the online exposure and something offline as well. If you can do that, just that combination right there is hard to beat, right? It beats out the people that are just trying to do the awards if they don't have the online presence, and then it beats out the people that have online presence that aren't doing something physical as well. So I love that, Yakin. That's great. In fact, I was just talking about that with another client the other day. So I may have somebody that will want to avail themselves of that with you shortly. So I'll pass on their information after we get done with the webinar. But I love that. It's great. And those are easy to do too, right? Of making those certificates and making them nice, and those promotional items are pretty cheap to be able to.
Basically, what you see here, many years ago, I used to work with them. I was part of their team where I learned the directory business a decade ago. So now this is a multi-million-dollar deal to have this celebrity here. But prior to this there was no celebrity when this business was launched. What they used to do, they used to make these kind of certificates. In India, it costed, in US dollar terms, it costed $4, $5, $6 for one good color printout with a frame, and just deliver it from your sales teams. Now this company used to have its sales team. If you don't have sales team, you have to courier it, so you have to send it through a shipping company, another $5 or $10. So in $10 or $20, this particular thing is with them. That is just half of what you generally charge for a monthly fee to be on the directory.
Yep.
And this makes huge difference. Just doing this for continuously over a decade. Today, this company in India charges in average to almost few of the niches like electrician, plumbers, irrespective of them, to anything else, to other niches, to other kind of categories of businesses, they do charge at least $150 a month to stay on their directories in India, to Indian businesses. Now you can think about, multiply to the US cost of economy, it should be at least double.
Yeah. No, and I think a lot of times people, I mean, just think, a lot of times people have to get past a mental block too on this a little bit, is because a lot of people don't want to do it because you're paying for exposure, right? Or like, oh, you just paid somebody to get that award or whatever. But just realize any advertising is just exposure or whatever. Everybody else has the same opportunity or whatever. And so, depending on how you want to do it, you probably maybe don't want to have it directly just pay to play, pay to get that or whatever. So there's some credibility there. You may want to have some sort of process, or maybe let's say it's a best of restaurant or whatever. Let's say you still have to, maybe they pay to be in the tier, but then there is only one, and you actually maybe they pay to participate, and then you are physically going to grab an order of the food, and maybe you're just giving the best one that you feel was the best meal or whatever, that you give them the award. So maybe there's two tiers of awards, right? You get the middle level, and then the best of, and then the best of, right? I'm just making that up as I go.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
You want something that's going to lend credibility to it.
Correct.
But at the same time, sometimes people don't even care if you're paying to get it. They just, and a lot of times, just think about that too when you guys see it at a restaurant or something. Do you really take the time to read it and go research on your phone? Like, best of blank, what is that? And like go research. You don't really care either. You're just like, wow, they won an award. This must be a good restaurant, right? And so a lot of times people aren't really going to care what the background of it is, to be honest. But go ahead, Yakin. What were you going to say?
Yeah, and what we use in our internal the sales team, the marketing team of a couple of this kind size of clients we have, the language we use over here is basically this plays with solidly with the competitors' ego in emotion. Basically, for example, there is one word which happens with everyone, whether they are on online business or not. For example, right now we have few people here attending the webinars. They would be having even physical businesses. Let's say someone has a physical business, they sell furniture. They are not connected online, anything, but still then selling furniture is a pure physical business. For example, they do have their competitor, and let's say if your competitor has something on the reception wall in their office, you will get attracted to it. You will also see, okay, what is this? Let me open them. Let me also get that. And basically, when we invest on this kind of thing, or the offline collaterals, marketing collaterals, we name it like. So when we invest $20 on marketing collateral and put it on some popular businesses out there, basically it will 20-30 times, means the membership will flow 20 times more.
Yeah, and so
automatically.
that brings up a good point there, Yakin. Of like BD has the QR code generator, right? So heck, slap the QR code on that on the printout and have people be able to scan it with their phone and go straight to their listing on your website to show that they have the award or whatever. And now they're onto your system just by scanning the QR code. One of the other things that you could do as well, or would potentially get, right, as soon as you have that award on your page or online, when you're linking that up and you're providing that, and make sure you're very active about doing this when they win the award, and maybe even make it a stipulation that if you win the award, maybe if they want to accept the award, they have to provide a link back to the award page on your website or something like that. You could maybe even require that. But then you can start getting backlinks from all these popular locations, or the large ones that are willing to pay for the high-end actual award there. And then they're linking back to your website from theirs, and you're going to get a huge SEO boost, because all the top businesses, the big businesses that are winning these awards, are linking back to your directory after they win these awards. And then a lot of times, even if you're swapping out people over time that are winning them, that's even more people over every year that are linking. And sometimes they're just too lazy to forget or to remove the link to the previous year's award if they're, and they're just going to leave it there. And so you'll have those links for years on years that just start to stack up. And really increase your SEO, boost there.
Correct. Yeah,
right.
So yeah, that way it works. It really works. Means it all depends on, think about something, try it for 1 or 2 months, 3 months, and observe. It worked, it didn't work. If you want to tweak that plan, tweak it again. Apply the improvised version of the plan for another 2 or 3 months, but don't keep on changing plans every single day or every single week. Means it will not end up bringing any statistics of results. Even something is not working out, still keep continuing for 1 or 2 months or 3 months. It can be a pitch, it can be a process. Just as you said, yeah.
Well, hey, let me share something, Yakin, if you want to hand the screen back there. Stop your. I'll share mine. Real quick. This one, I just saw this the other day through the drive-thru at one of the local restaurants here. You guys have probably heard that here of the nextdoor.com. And so you guys can see my screen, right? You good?
Yes.
Okay. So here's an example. And this is something I'm going to rip off and copy for mine. No, I'm just joking. You can do exactly for your website, right? The 2020 Neighborhood Favorite Awards. And you can get your free kit. Like, you just order the kit or whatever. This one's obviously a bigger organization, but look, everybody's getting these stickers. It's exactly what I was just talking about. I saw it on the door of businesses all around us here. It just has their logo, and it just says neighborhood favorite. Like, that doesn't even say best of. You could do the exact same thing, or have them put up a form on your BD site to order their free kit. And then you can just go send this to them, and they can put it on their window for themselves. But how that's just generic, right? Who wouldn't want that on their door or their window of their business that just says, whatever business neighborhood favorite winner. And so you don't even have to, and so here's some social media. You give them some copy with your logo, and now they're doing the advertising for you. And then so they come there to vote for them. Postcards, posters. Again, this stuff is pretty easy to do in Canva or Trello or any other thing that you want. Real easy, just to give them some content to push it out. But then you allow them to vote on that stuff, or and it could be as simple as for example, in your directory, you could just have the. So let's go to mine real quick of the review, and I don't push the reviews that much, but you could have it as the most reviews, right? And so whoever has the most reviews at the end of this month or whatever is going to win or whatever. And I actually don't have it. I don't have it turned on, but most reviews. And again, I don't have that many on mine at all. But let's say, hey, the most reviews, that's who's going to get the winner, right? And so I don't even know if I have that turned on. I don't use it that much. But let's say that's what you're doing. You push out the reviews, and now you make an easy kit of here's how you do the reviews, and maybe something set up so they can hand out to their clients to come to your website. Again, with the QR code, maybe you make the thing for them and give them a little PDF or whatever they hand out to their people. But then they come in here and vote, and then you give the award based on whoever has the most reviews, and that's just your easy way in BD to vote for your favorite is just by adding a review, right? Or maybe just by adding literally, you could make it as simple if you're just trying to get any reviews, just be like, hey, if you put in a review and say this is your favorite business or whatever, we're going to send them a free neighborhood favorite because they're somebody's favorite, and that business is going to get a free neighborhood favorite if you just add a review for that. It could be that simple. It could be one and done, and they get that stuff and just have these printed up. So there's 1,000,001 different companies that can draw up these things for you and make those out. But that's just a couple examples. And there's probably, again, lots of other businesses that do that. The advantage you guys have, right, is in your niche or your business is that you're in the area. Like, this is a national company. Like, if you're doing the same thing locally and getting the exposure as a local business, you're probably going to win, right? Just because they can't compete against you pushing that in the service. And to be honest, these guys normally help that thing, right? Because if they're already familiar with a national thing like that, and you're the local directory or local website, and you're doing that same thing, you don't think they're going to do yours in addition to or instead of the national one? They probably will, right? So you'd have a natural in on those most of the time that they just can't take advantage of across the entire country. So and this brings up another point, beg, borrow, and steal everybody else's ideas, right? If this is a good thing and good execution, just take this execution and what they're doing and just put it into a format that you can do on BD or makes sense for you or the people that you have available or the resources that you have. But literally, and I don't have... I don't think my camera was working yet. Otherwise, I'd show you this. But I literally just got something in the mail the other day. It was saying, hey, you get 50 free 2x2 die cut stickers. Use this code. It was just something I found. And so I literally did one for my business with my name or whatever, just to kind of hand out or stick on some of those local areas that just have like bumper stickers or whatever, people putting stickers on stuff. And I'm just going to go slapping those on there. It has my logo on there, but I didn't pay anything. I did. I paid literally like $1.20 to ship them. They're like 50 stickers in an envelope or whatever. I paid. The printing was free, $1.50 of shipping or something like that. And I got an envelope, like a little mailing with all my stuff. And I've got it right here in the bag. You can hear it in front of me. And I paid $1. Right. So don't think you have to get fancy on this stuff and go all crazy. Just come up with the idea, figure out what works, what's within your budget. And then, as always, on these things, it always comes down to execution and making it happen. So appreciate that, Yakin, for pointing that out. A lot of good stuff there. So speaking of execution, let me execute my discussion topic for today on the challenge funnel. We'll go ahead and get into that, and then again we'll open it up for questions or comments in a minute. Actually, while Rich, are you back on?
Yeah, Ryan.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So I'm just going to go into your thing real quick before I forget. We're going to go. I will maybe go over that video thing next week.
Okay.
And so just because I know there's a couple options out there, I just want to get a better idea of what they can do before I push them out to you. But there's definitely a software out there that can, you can give them a page to just leave a video. And they just record it, and then you get all those that you can just grab and put them on somewhere. And then there's also, I think, another program I just saw that works pretty good. That you basically you can take parts of Zoom calls, basically. So you could just get them on a Zoom call real quick and be chatting, and they can give you the testimonial on a Zoom call. And you can literally just highlight parts of the Zoom call, or like hit start and stop your testimonial in there, and it'll actually strip and cut that Zoom call down to the testimonial and grab that as a shareable MP4 kind of file. So,
Yeah, I guess like on a Zoom call, you could there's a record button, so you just maybe I'll try that, but you can just stop and start, each but you have to do that, for every person every 30 seconds or so. But and to send them a
Yeah,
link.
I mean, this one, you basically it could be an entire call, and it just kind of strips out that one little thing with little videos or something.
That's cool.
So here's an example. Again, this is one I use and have set up. I just don't have the link on me. I don't want to jump off to go grab it here, but so I have on my testimonials page. I just have one on here as a demo, and you can kind of see, and so it embeds on the file as a testimonial there, and so that's an example, and I can show you guys that next week as well. But
the directory toolkit, I am going to rock this thing with a little bit of help from Ryan. So thankful that I found Ryan and the directory toolkit, because I am going to rock this thing with a little bit of help from Ryan.
Okay, anyway, so that's just an example, right? But it's just they do it on their phone or their computer records a testimonial, and then you can put that, inside of a testimonial page or whatever that you want. So,
but could you take that video and then post it within their profile, or download and upload it, kind of thing?
Yeah. I mean, I just put that on this page, but you could put it on their profile or inside of their profile. I just have it as a pop-up, so it's not in the page. But yeah, you could put it in the page, just like that.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking, like, looking at these people with testimonials, but just extrapolating our site. If Christy and Brandef and Carolina, all these people were either guests or podcasters, when you clicked on their profile, it would have a video of saying, here's why I'd be a great guest, or here's why, here's what my podcast is about.
Right.
Yeah, looking forward to that next week.
Yeah, so we'll move on to that next week. So let me so back to the challenge funnel again. So this is what
I do have a couple of questions about what and I switched screens here real quick about what, how do you say his name? Yakin?
Yeah, Yakin. Yeah.
What he was talking about, and well, first of all, on a side note, when you were swapping around, one of the directories I saw was Mount Dora directory.
Yeah.
Do you run that?
Yeah, that is one of my partner client.
Yeah, for Mount Dora, Florida, right?
No, it's not in Florida. Yeah, it's for only Mount Dora, not for
Mount
entire
Dora.
Florida. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the city of Mount Dora, Florida. Yeah, because I grew up in Leesburg, a neighboring town. And I have friends, family friends, still in Mount Dora. So small world. That's pretty wild.
A small world. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to check that out. But the other question I had was more about this idea of the digital awards and so forth, or the offline awards, of being able to, print them a sticker and send it to them, or, best of, that kind of thing. But what about the digital version of that, where we're not, they don't have a storefront, to post that award on, so what you were illustrating was like, again, Ryan, maybe you can kind of translate here as far as, knowing my website with the.
Are you just talking about a badge or something that said they won the award?
Yeah, like badges, because right now we just kind of have one,
Well, so what I would, and Yakin, you can jump in here. The easy way I would do that without having to pay for customization is just you make a special award winner, a membership level, right? You move the people that win the awards into for any particular award, and then when you move them in there, that's just the badge that's in their dashboard that says you're the whatever winner, and you know what I mean?
Exactly. And in Brilliant Directories, one beautiful thing is you can define URL for a membership plan. So what you can do, you can create a plan, for example, VIP, example. So you can just upgrade all those members to VIP, and that VIP search results page will have only those members there.
Okay. Yeah, that's an easy solution, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
And the advantage of doing that too is it provides the search engine optimization too, because you could put the big long title of whatever award that they won, right, as the URL, and then make that part of that.
Yeah, because I like it based on reviews, whatever. So it's kind of like a Yelp, for restaurants, whatever. But this would be like the Yelp for podcasters. So like this podcaster has recorded 100 episodes, or has the other thing I'd like to be able to do is more on our end is this guest or this podcaster has already booked has 10 bookings, 100 bookings. Because if I see somebody that already has 50 bookings, then it's kind of on autopilot. It's like I'm not trying. If I'm a guest and want to be on their podcast, I see Ryan's has a badge that says he's achieved 50 bookings. Then I'm like, makes it so much easier because I'm thinking this is going to be so much seamless rather than somebody else. I guess you could do different. Just put a VIP or a number assigned to it, certain 10, 25, 50 or whatever kind of thing. But and then and I guess, Ryan, I don't know if there's a way like in the admin area where we can view like how many people have what's mostly considered leads, or like because it's mostly a city directory. So like in terms of a merchant, how many leads that we've gotten. In our case, we base our leads are called bookings. So if Ryan has already accepted 20 bookings through the system, is there a way that I can kind of view that, or be able to determine how many leads in essence a person has accepted?
Right now you have to right now what the system is, you have to compute it manually basically.
Yeah.
Means you have to just there is no such system over here which does that. Means basically you have to go to manage leads and you have to count it and write it somewhere.
Huh. So there's no way I can go to like I mean, when I click on a lead, it will show like that person if they've accepted.
Yeah, but you have to go inside each one of them.
Each one of them, yeah. Huh.
Yeah, there's not there's not right now. I'm hoping that they'll do that. There's not an admin board either that shows the stats across everybody. The data's there, and they've said this before. I think on another webinar, the data's there. It's just what they have to spend time on to consolidate all that data to put it in a viewable form. But like you said, it's not in there right now. I just want to talk to the search result thing though that Yakin was talking about. I had to go find it because they moved everything around in here. My mental memory is gone. But inside the membership plan, if you guys go in there in the search visibility tab, down here right above the member profile highlighting and stuff is the member plan search results URL. And so this is where you could add a slug in here for like pro members or like VIP, like you were saying, or best of, right, whatever your town is, right, best of town. And then that slug right there, that's where if you go to there, it's like a predetermined search result basically for everybody in that particular membership plan. So this is premium membership, right? For me, you could put premium here, right? And that's just kind of the easy named search result to filter out for only people in that particular membership level.
And where would be the application of searching for that?
Well, you would just link to it, right? You would just say, like you could put on your pull down menu, like view all, view best of restaurants, or view best of whatever those different categories are, and you can link directly to it. But it's just an easier way for them to do that. The other way to do that is, for a keyword or something, you could search for a keyword, and it would come up with I think that in there as well, because it's inside of the database for a quick keyword search. Like I've got that on, if you could use that for particular items, and it makes it easier to find. Like we've got this new pub in town that just opened up. And so I have the keyword Bosco, right? So if you type in Bosco, then that comes up, and it's just an easier way to find them. They kind of know what they have to search for in order to find that particular pub, right? So anyway.
Yeah, I know how to search by that. While you're in the search thing, I was on our site doing the same thing to try to search by reviews, and it wasn't searchable. And even when I manipulated it over to search by A through Z, it didn't seem to change. Like if you go to our website, Podcasters Directory, maybe I was missing something, but like the search feature didn't seem to alter anything. And maybe it's because I have the categories where, the categories by, whether
it's really just a sort. It's just a sort by. Are you talking about reviews?
Yeah, reviews. And I know one guy, Mike Wittenstein, has the most reviews of everybody. And I don't know that these people have many reviews, but that's how it auto-populates by our, like if you do search, see it's not really changing anything. Even A to Z. Maybe it's because, I put the,
Hey, shit. So
it's not doing.
Well, that's got. I mean, do any of these other have reviews? I mean, the one with the review showed up at the top.
Not to that extent, I mean, because the guy.
Well, I mean, it's only searching by most reviews, so this one has the most reviews because I don't see any others that have them. So that's working. You click search by most reviews.
No, but I know this member, Mike Wittenstein. He has like 6 or 8, which is, the most of anybody on the site. Now our community support, we created reviews there, but not for Pod Briefs or Alex or whatever. Those are just all team members. And
okay, well, that has the most. So podcast.
Yeah, there's Mike. But none of these other people appeared when you search by the main search category there. It just like when you hit the main search, it just pulls up everybody, and then it didn't even seem to change when you did it alphabetical. But now the other thing is by our membership level, the Pro or the Rockstar members, we gave them higher priority, like Rockstar Resources. So it's sorting, I think, maybe those people first.
Oh, yeah. So that's probably what it is, because if you have that turned on, that it respects the member level,
right? Then
it's going to put all of those people first. Now, I don't know if that. I guess that begs the question, like, is if it defaults to that and then you do this, should that override the?
Seems like it should, because I'm not. Like Rockstar.
Yakin, do you know?
Membership
I'm
level,
betting that does not override. It's still going to do the
membership level whatever we set in the membership plans. Those search priority 3, 0, 1, 2, whatever we set there.
Yeah.
That supersedes all other things.
Yeah, because they're all.
Okay, that's what I thought.
See, they're all listed as Rockstars, which is our highest level member.
Correct.
And it's only pulling up. It's only pulling up 81.
Well, I typed
in the
word
list
story
mode.
in there.
Yeah, please check that in the list view. We will get a much more, list view. Just click on that list. Yeah, and now make that most by reviews.
It's 916.
Now check.
See, it's still pulling up. All of our team members are high priority, and then Rockstars, it kicks in. Our membership, highest level membership is Rockstars. So it's always going to pull those people up first.
Correct.
Yeah.
So is that problematic or something we should? I mean, it's kind of an oxymoron, because we've told these people, if you buy this membership level, you're going to be featured at the top of the list. Unless somebody
so to answer that question, you kind of need to do one or the other on those guys. So if you go to the design settings, and I'll just use mine here for an example, but as I'm not logged in as you, Rich, but in the design settings, there is a search result option in there, and you do have the option to default to the number of reviews and have that be the order as opposed to a different type of order. So if that's what you're focusing on and you're telling them to do that, so I think it's right here on the search result pages. So you can enable the star filter, and it is, I thought.
What's a star?
And maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Five stars would be a review, 1 of 5 stars.
but I thought there was, and maybe this isn't the actual. I think this isn't actually. So that's turn on the filter if you didn't do that for the star rating, and you can kind of filter out if you wanted. That's another thing. But let me just go to the post settings. This is probably going to be in the listing post settings. Is where I think this is at. Go to the listing settings in here, and you want to go to the search results design tab here, and down at the bottom it'll say order search results by A to Z, and you're going to want to order them by number of reviews first.
But I don't necessarily want to bypass the Rockstar member levels.
Well, I don't know if you can jump in. I'll have to maybe check with BD. I think it's going to have to be one or the other. You either have to say you want it by the reviews, or you want it by the. Although that's still gonna.
Yeah, it's still gonna pull up our Rockstar people first. It's just
you're right. Well, that's basically like pre-selecting the pull down, so you don't have to pick number of reviews, right? So I think it's still going to be stuck with the same category representation.
Because any of the searches you have there, A to Z, oldest to newest, all of those are going to be bypassed. It's not really a true search then, because they're always going to pull up the Rockstar member first.
Well, you got to think about it, Rich. You're trying to sell people to pay to be higher up in the listing. Right. So if they're not happy about, I mean, I know you're trying to get people to do reviews, but just say, hey, look, you're gonna be at that's your ticket to get to the top of your category. So if you're a silver member and you want to get a bunch of reviews, you're gonna show. We've got it sorted by number of reviews. So and in fact, I'd probably recommend you did this then, because then it's still gonna be within the group. And you say, hey, if you want to be at the top of your level, just get a bunch of reviews, and you're going to be number one. So if you're worried about getting everybody else being premium members and you getting lost in the shuffle, just get more reviews, and you're in control of being at the top. But if you're not happy being at the top of the silver because you're on page 3, well, then you're going to have to pay to upgrade to premium. And because you have so many reviews, as soon as you hit pay, you're going to be at the top number 1 listing on the directory. And but it's up to you. You're going to have to upgrade to do that. And so that's kind of your selling point to be able to do that. And it makes sense.
And that's going to draw more traction or activity to the site and everything else as well.
Right. So it kind of just comes down to how you're selling it or what you're telling them. Obviously, you have to pitch it within the bounds of the way BD's set up, unless you want to change it. But
on a side note, speaking of traffic to the website, time permitting, I can show you this. But are you familiar with Alexa Internet traffic rankings?
Yeah.
Dude, we've run our podcast network for 5 years, and we were thrilled how huge our ranking was an emerging startup brand, not just in the podcasting space, but of Alexa Internet.
What's the website?
It's I can send you the link, but let me send you the link because it's it'll go right to Alexa.
No, I don't. I mean, I can get the Alexa on my.
Okay, yeah. If you go there, so it's probusinesschannelusa.com, and we're huge on the rankings for a we're not exactly Bloomberg or Spotify, I would rate, but here's the kicker is you have to go to Alexa, unless you can do it there somehow, but
I'll get it here. So you are well, it's not that high actually. It's like 1.8 million or 100
total. Here, I'll send you the link. Yeah, I just put the hyperlink right in the chat, so that's going to take you right to the Alexa, and right to our site.
It's 1.8 million globally.
Yeah, so and if you do Google search, there's actually 1.9 billion billion websites on the planet, almost 2 billion websites. Out of 2 billion websites, not in podcasting or not in Atlanta or Georgia or North America, globally, there's 1.9 billion websites. So there's 2 billion. We're less than 2 million. We're ranked in the top 2 million of all almost 2 billion websites on the planet.
Yeah, well, I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, I guess if you want to do some stats on that, and
but here's what's crazy is I'm gonna
put Yakin on the spot here. This is probably a lot better than yours. Let's see what he's got. Yeah. I'll do mine too, and I'll show you. But what is it? Businesslabs.com.
What are you doing? A search on the internet?
.org.
Was that?
It is .org. .org.
Oh, that is yours? Okay.
Yeah, but I haven't updated that site since 3-4 years.
Yeah, I know. I haven't either. So, like, let me
are you searching on Google or are you searching on Alexa?
No, I've got it built into my thing here. It'll actually. There you go. One of my a random software page on mine is at 1.2. So there we go. So I'm at 178,000.
Oh,
actually,
is that
this
US
one's
rank, because they rank them globally and then US as well. And then I'm more familiar with the Alexa, the way it breaks it down. But
well, I mean, this is just I just can see inside of that just with all the Google search results. It's the same number that was on your Alexa thing. So
yeah.
But anyway,
but here's my point, Ryan. Is we've been building that network for 5 years, and look at our ranking. I just put in the chat a link to our ranking for the podcasters directory.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. That was the point. I was going to say that's okay. Gotcha.
This is crazy. So again,
yeah. So let me just do that real quick. That's what I was trying to. I was going to try to show you using the BD system. How
I put our link.
I
put the link right in the chat, so you can.
That's fine. Again, I can see the same thing right here.
It's kind of
391,000.
What do you say?
391.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's the same. Let me see.
It is a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. So in 5 years, it took us to get to what for Pro Business Channel, less than 2 million. With the directory, we're now at what was it? 300. Yeah, 300 under 400,000 globally. Okay, and then for the U.S., this is what's crazy, Ryan. We're ranked 122,000. The top 120, basically top 120,000 websites in the entire country of the United States of America. That's pretty crazy.
Right? Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to look up some other sites I know that get a bunch of
and we're also time at the site. We were pushing almost like 5 minutes, which is. I'm talking to an internet guy, and he says that's astounding. I mean, because the average time attention spans about 7 seconds. I mean, if you have anybody at your site for more than a minute, that's. But part of the secret sauce is obviously billion directories, but also when somebody onboards, we prompt them to watch a 3-minute video. So we're kind of cheating a little bit on that, but it still works, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's all comes down to navigation. Yeah. The funnels that we're talking about, right, of keeping them on your site longer, or getting them involved with your site, and those all help out. Which I'm going to transition to my for the topic today. I want to make sure I knock this out here. We'll transition to that for the funnel stuff and try to keep them on your site a little bit longer. But today,
if you keep them on the site longer, you can show that to potential advertisers. If you're selling advertising on the spot, man, we got we're ranked in the top 120,000 in the U.S. As far as traffic, we keep people on the site for almost 5 minutes. That's gold for an advertiser. But anyway.
Yeah, and you can use those stats, right, when you're trying to sell stuff too. It makes it a lot easier to make the pitch as opposed to like, we got an average of 25 seconds of viewing time per visit. It looks a lot better when you can kind of say, and that's where the math comes in handy, right? When you divide stuff out and you're like, hey, if the average for the U.S. site is a minute, you say and then you're not lying, right? We say our visitors to our site get you'll get on average we get 500% more exposure than normal websites or the average website in our niche or something like that.
And you can show them that third-party source too from Alexa, instead of just your own numbers or whatever, and even more than just clicks or visits to the site, because you can have 1,000 visitors at your site, but they're just click and gone.
Right.
All right, man.
All right. So today we're going to talk about challenge funnels. So they're relatively a new concept in the world of digital marketing, but I think everybody can say that although they're relatively new, they're hot, right? Everybody's doing them, especially now in the COVID world where everybody's kind of transitioning to online or digital jobs. Everybody's trying to learn a new skill. Wants to get involved in some sort of community or has extra time on their hands and wants to fulfill, their lifelong passion of being able to knit sweaters for dogs, and they just don't know how to do it. But because of your directory on knitting sweaters for dogs, they're going to be able to do it. Whatever it is, those challenges are jumping up more and more, and you guys have probably seen some examples of those. So what we're going to talk about in this webinar is kind of give you some ideas of maybe some kinds of challenges that are suitable for your type of business, or just kind of what other people are doing, why you would want to do that, and then how to execute those, and then maybe set the right goals for your challenge and how to use those to inspire them to actually participate in your directory, your business, and or your challenge. So what is a challenge funnel? So in general terms, you see it on the screen here, a challenge funnel. It's basically that marketing strategy that you would use as a challenge, right? You say, I challenge you to a duel, right? And then everybody's like, yes, I want to duel you, right? That was the first challenge funnel, is dueling. But you want to challenge them to acquire leads and improve their engagement and reputation, right? And that's the strategy. And so what it basically does is it uses that desired result of your target audience or your niche or whatever your directory niche, whatever they would like to do, right? That ultimate goal. And they want that, right? And you basically put it up to a challenge to them because you have the knowledge or you have the basis in your niche, or even it may not even be your knowledge. It may be knowledge of people that you have in your directory. Like you have a directory for podcasters, right? Maybe you don't know everything about podcasting. Rich does, but maybe you don't. But you have experts that are inside of your directory that have the answer. So maybe you're going to use them or their knowledge or whatever. But bottom line is you put it up to a challenge, and you give a definable timeline and a goal that basically you get something that's maybe easy and obtainable to you, but seems so far-reaching and so even out of the realm of possibility that they could accomplish that for everybody else. And you basically tell them, we're gonna do it with you, and you're gonna get done in this time, and this is what you're gonna have when you get done with that.
This
right?
is Papa's. It's not mine.
So So it gives them something to be able to focus on, right? And when they have that timeline and the goal, and you tell them, hey, at the end of these 3 weeks, you're going to have X, Y, or Z, and you're willing to part with your money to get the knowledge to be able to do that in 3 weeks, then people will trade that, right? Their time for the money, and because you're going to tell them they're going to get to that goal. And so the question that you need to ask yourself as you're watching this webinar, either on the replay here or live, is ask yourself this one question. What is that one thing that you can teach your audience that's going to show them what you're talking about and will make them confident that you can help them further, right? They don't have to get all the way to running a 6-figure directory, right? What's the one thing in your niche, or why they would join your directory, or a complementary product that you provide? What is one thing that you can do to help them out that's going to acknowledge your experience and your expertise in there, realize that you can help them with that? Guess what you could do with them if they signed on for a 6-month contract or a year, or they joined your subscription or your directory? Like, what could they do, after the long haul if you're going to do that one little thing in 3 weeks? So what is that one thing? And then we could probably talk about that at the end if anybody wants to jump in, if any of this stuff jogs their memory about maybe what they could do. And then I'm going to challenge you to actually execute that in the coming weeks if you're willing to do that. All right, so that's what a challenge funnel is. And you're going to obviously have to have a goal, right? When you're doing these challenge funnels, you're going to have to set the right goals in the challenge and inspire them in order to participate. So here's just a couple examples. I literally just threw, and Frank's not on here today, but I just literally made all these slides today. So I did put a ton of thought into these, but this is how, just some examples of what you can do for your directory. So let's say it's your content, right? So let's say you're a directory about writer resources, or it's a writing directory, right? Maybe software or people that can help you out with your copywriting or whatever, that you have that kind of directory. And so maybe you have some content on copywriting, right? So maybe you could create a 7-day challenge to write better headlines for your blogs or for your news articles or whatever. So maybe that's it. Maybe it's client content, right? Let's say you have a dog directory and you want to highlight dog training resources from some of your clients. Like, it's not you don't have any dog training, you don't do dog training, but because you're into pets and dogs, you have a dog directory, and some of your clients have dog training resources. So so get a hold of some of your peeps in your directory, and like have them do the challenge, because you're doing the work for them. They're just going to jump in, and who doesn't want to tout their services to all of your clients for all the directory, right? So maybe you could create a 10-day challenge to make dogs stop chewing shoes. And then actually you coordinate it and you just let them teach it. And then they provide the content for you. It's nothing that you even did, but you're taking the money for the challenge or whatever. Or maybe it's free and they just get the exposure, or maybe you charge for it and you give them a kickback. But if everybody could mute their mics, if you don't mind, I could go do it as well. But I'll just ask that. And otherwise, I just want. And again, you guys can always jump back in with the mics there if you want to jump on or ask a question at any time. It just helps with the replay. Appreciate that. So, and then after the challenge, if you did a good job, your audience is going to be impressed with what they learned in that small amount of time, and they're going to want to learn more, right? And one of the other things you can do too, and we've talked about this before, is record that content, right? You did that 10-day challenge once. That was a live challenge. Maybe the live challenge is double the price. If you want to watch the replay, it's like half price, right? Later. And then you don't even have to do anything. It's recorded, and you just give them access to the videos for half the price, and you just keep running the 10-day challenge every month for the next year. And you only did the 10-day challenge once. And so again, you could encourage other people to provide that content, knowing that they're going to get some recurrent revenue if they provide you with the how to get your dog not to chew shoes content for you, right? So that's your content, maybe your client's content. Maybe it's not a content, maybe it's a product, right? So let's say you have a vegan directory, and I do have several of those clients, right? So maybe they can get use of your full directory, but they need to know why they should be vegan, or even how to be vegan. Maybe I want to be vegan. I don't even know where to start. I don't know what foods I need to eat. I don't know what foods I'm not supposed to eat. I don't even if I do know, I don't have any recipes for that. Like, I don't even know where to start. So maybe you would create and then present a vegan 4-week challenge, right, on how to make the switch in 1 month. And so you're creating a product in a process, and you're selling that process or that checklist or the whatever it is, right? And again, maybe you're selling somebody else's products. So we've done this before in the webinars here. I've done this before for stuff, right? I show you, let's say you have a benefits of a funnel builder, right? And you create the 7-day funnel building challenge, and you show advanced strategies that can easily be implemented with a tool. And so they get all excited, or like seeing what they can do. And then you've just showed them what they can do with the tool. Now they just need the tool. And, oh, by the way, you just happen to be selling the tool, right? So I've used that before. So maybe it's not even your products. Maybe it's just products in your niche or something else that you can do. So the whole point of the challenge funnel is that it's either your directory, your resources, somebody else's resources. You just want to get them involved in your community, in knowing you and knowing the people that are also in the community, because sometimes people will come or participate in the community because of somebody else, not because of you. I know that's why I'm in trouble today, because Frank's not here. I know most of you guys come just because Frank's here, And so you don't even come to listen to this. You just want to talk to Frank, right? So sometimes that helps, right? You just have the community. They're just joining or coming back maybe for, other things, ancillary things that you're providing it. That's what you're providing is the community, right? Or the information or whatever. It isn't necessarily all about you. It may just be other stuff you're providing. So just think about that again, back to that one question. What are you getting or being able to offer that in the short amount of time? These are just some examples, but you got to set a goal, whatever that is. Say, hey, in 7 days or in 3 weeks, or, it's got to be, make sure it makes sense. Right. And we'll get to that in a little bit, but think about that. What goal can you provide? And we'll even go to it a little bit later. You don't even have to have this done. Like it could just be an idea. And if you can actually talk about this stuff, or maybe you're just introducing 5 topic sets on some things and you got a rough outline, just start. Just say, and whoever pays is basically paying for your development, and you just talk about that course and you just build the ship as it's flying, right? You can also do that. And we have some other BD owners that have done that exact thing. I'm going to show you an example of that in just a little bit. So set a goal and figure out what that is. So why should you use a challenge funnel? I kind of went over what it is, how you would maybe do it a little bit, but set a goal and give some examples. But why would you want to use the channel funnel? What are the advantages of it? The first and really biggest one in my mind is that you get daily access to their inbox, right? It's part of the system. Like it's built in that, hey, it's a 7-day challenge. By the way, over the next 7 days, I'm going to be emailing you stuff over the next 7 days, right? 7 days challenge. They're actually looking for your content to come into their inbox. It's not going to like randomly appear or go to their spam. And even if it did go to their spam, they're going to go get it because they paid for it or they know it's coming. They're going to go grab it out of their spam box. They're going to put it in I accept all these things because they want to do it. They're allowing you, the creator, to show up in their email inbox every single day or every other day or whatever your time period is for the duration of the challenge. And they're expecting it. And they're going to be missing it if they don't get it, and they're going to go find it. So, and why is that huge? Because now that they've given you that daily access to their inbox, as long as you get them in your ecosystem, right? Maybe you sign them up to the newsletter, and instead of after the 7-day challenge, maybe now just they're getting an email every week or every other week or whatever based on your newsletter. But now, since they were expecting it for the daily challenge and you keep the other repetition up, they're going to expect your newsletter every Monday as well and be so excited, to get that. Just like I know you guys are every Thursday morning if you're getting the reminder for the webinar email. Exact same thing, right? That's the first thing you guys look for Thursday morning to get excited to come to the webinar. No, it's not the truth, but that's what you're trying to do, right? Is make them excited and be looking for your email. So that's the first thing, daily access to their inbox. The second thing is that it creates a social sharing aspect, right? Because especially any challenge, just the word challenge in and of itself says it's going to be a challenge, right? It doesn't say it's not the easy challenge, right? Or it doesn't say easy button course, right? It says the word challenge, which inherently in the English language means it's hard, not going to be easy. You need to dedicate your time to this. You cannot be doing something else and focus on this as well. Like it's a challenge. And so what happens with challenges? We always want to find other people that are going to do the challenge with us. If we're going to be in pain, we want somebody else to be in pain. You know how that goes, right? Like, there's no way I'm doing that on my own. I want you to do that with me. So it creates this social sharing effect because people do not want to do it alone. And so this also brings up a good point in terms of the content. You want to keep it obviously specific to your niche, but generic enough that they're going to be willing to share it. So the last thing you want to do is say, let's do a challenge on how to do advanced settings in your BD, back end, right? That probably shouldn't be the challenge because are they going to share that with anybody? Probably not, because they are the only ones that are in the BD thing, BD system. So just think about that. It needs to be shareable as well. But if it is, they're gonna send that to other people because you always want people to experience the pain with you. Just like if you've ever tasted something bad, right? What's the first thing you say? This is terrible. Taste it, right? You're trying to get somebody else to feel your pain. It's just a natural habit. You want somebody else, and it doesn't have to be the pain. It could be, again, you're going through something together to get to that pinnacle at the end with somebody else, right? You train or run a marathon with somebody because you're going to be at the finish line together. You go on a road trip together. You do something else with friends. So it creates that social sharing content because people don't want to do it alone. The third thing it creates repetitive engagement, right? Not only do you get access to their inbox, I kind of talked about that with the newsletter thing, but it makes your challenges an excellent way to engage with your audience in a repetitive fashion, right? And so that engagement is key, right? So it opens them up to other stuff that you offer, right? It engages them with you. It engages them with your brand. It engages them with others in the community. Like I talked about, other people that are there. Sometimes they're just there for the community, and that's what they get out of it. So it provides that engagement. And as we've talked about many other times, and even today, that engagement of them coming back to the site. We talked about Rich's with the amount of time that they're spending on the site, right? The amount of time that they're there engaging with your content. That's why they're coming back. That's why they're part of the community. And that engagement, if you continue to provide that, right, then they're going to come back and use your directory again. The fourth thing is it forms a relationship. So those attendees, right, whoever come to your particular challenge or are part of the thing, they start to know you, right? If you have somebody else leading the group, maybe they're doing the training, but you're just kind of in there, jumping in there. You may not be the expert sage on the stage, as it were, but you're the moderator. And they're used to seeing you, and you're part of the directory owner. They know you, right? And so they start to form a relationship and a bond that gives you credibility and shows your expertise, because nobody else is doing a 7-day, dog don't chew my shoes challenge. You are. So just by doing that, you have credibility and expertise because they know where to go, and they've done that one thing. And this we talked about this in a previous webinar a couple weeks ago. When you start doing if you do one of those launch funnels, right? If this is one of your launches that you're doing, then they did a previous training, but maybe it's not a challenge. Maybe it's just some other training or a course or some articles, right, that are on your directory. Maybe now they're going to go use those resources because they've already done something else and they know that other opportunity has helped them. So the good thing about forming a relationship is the next item is that it gives you valuable opportunities, because people like to buy from people they like. They don't buy from people they don't like, right? It gives you a head start to pitch your products and services, because every time you give them something for free, they're more likely to go that much further and actually pay for something that you are offering because they had value in the free. Guess how much more value is in the paid one if you're giving away that much stuff for free. And so that's why everybody always says, give away your best stuff for free, right? Because that they're in some retrospect, they're almost just paying, they'll be willing to almost pay. There's got to be more content in the paid stuff, obviously, but in their mindset too, they're really just paying for the stuff that you already gave them in the free stuff too, because they already got that from you, and they equate that with you. So you're kind of paying for that stuff you had already given them. So don't be afraid of doing that, because that gets them kind of in the fold, and they're more likely to, it gives you more opportunities to market to them. And then it ensures better setup or adaptability. So one of the first things, think about one of the first things that somebody needs to do for your directory or your niche, right? Can you present that as a challenge so that they actually look forward to the outcome of getting more exposure for their listing or whatever, or realize that they need your directory or related services in order to get there, right? So, maybe you have a rolling 7-day or 2-day profile challenge, right? The first day you just walk through the whole system and what they can get out of it. And the second day, you're actually they're jumping on the call and everybody's filling out their profiles in a big group, right? And you're just helping everybody out in one fell swoop. And you're kind of utilizing the stuff you just talked about. And then maybe you jump somebody on board and you just walk them through how to post an article. They got it, the first person with an article gets just to post it, and we'll promote that. We'll pin that article to the top of our directory for a week. So, and then you get somebody on there and they just post an article live or something like that. Maybe it's the second day of the challenge. But so it doesn't have to be a product. It can just be your directory, right? Get them excited about that. Do the profile challenge. And again, maybe if it's anything that has physical participation or setup before use, you can benefit from this funnel to try to inspire adoption of your solution or to, fill out whatever. And you just have it rotating. So maybe it's the same time every month. It's on your calendar. And so if they join any time before that thing, in your welcome email, you say, hey, we do it could just be generic. Here you go here. You can join the 2-day challenge. It's the first Tuesday of every month. Go ahead, go click here and join up for the next one. So again, you can kind of automate that. And it's just, again, one little, maybe one day or 2 days for an hour or two for a couple days a month to try to get some additional onboarding stuff for people. So, and then the last thing is it allows your goal to be their goal. And what I mean by that is you can set a goal and have rewards. So whatever pinnacle they want to get at the end should be something that you want for them, or you want for them for your site or for them personally. But the whole point of the funnel is to encourage your audience to participate in your challenge and provide a channel for you to reveal something at the end. So it's either a complete profile or something that you a reward that you give them. Maybe if they complete their profile, you're going to upgrade them to the next plan for free. Like, hey, this is like a no obligation thing. We don't like half done profiles on our site. If you join the challenge and you get done on the challenge there and it meets all the requirements, we're going to auto upgrade you for a free month at the higher plan, absolutely free. So give them something, give them a reward, or maybe the reward is just the training itself, and then your reward is to be able to offer them up for, maybe they just did the 7-day challenge. Maybe you have a 6-month course that the 7-day challenge leads up to, like a hanging chat at the end, or like, and you want more? Great. We've got a course for that. So we'll go over some of the funnel aspects of that in a little bit. So those are some examples of why you should use a challenge funnel. So let's just get in and see some actual examples. As I was thinking about doing this a couple of days ago, literally yesterday, I just got this in my inbox. It makes absolutely no sense. This is for Glorify. It's actually an image software that does background removal, and I have no idea why they're pitching supplement branding, but they are. But just as an example of how rampant these are nowadays, they call it's called the Supplement Brand Challenge, right? And it literally goes through 5 days with this other dude that they probably went to college together or something. Who knows? But anyway, you can get your own branded whey protein or supplement brand, set up your website, and be selling your own whey protein in 5 days. So that's what he does or sells. So I'm thinking directoryprotein.com. Does that sound good to anybody? Would anybody buy that? Directory Protein? I'm not sure if that'll sell. But bottom line is, I just got this yesterday. I'm getting these all the time. Everybody's doing challenges, and it's working, right? This doesn't even make sense, but they're probably going to get a ton of people to go to this, even though this has nothing to do with I guess they probably made this design in their software and removed the background right of the product. But they're probably going to get lots of sales on this, make a lot of money. I'm just saying those are all over the place. And so here's a couple more examples. This is called the Videos Challenge, right? So you basically get all of your videos done in the next 3 weeks. So he kind of walks you through. He's got a little stage, a little process on the 3 types of videos that you can do, and he basically pitches it and says, "Hey, we're starting in this time frame, and you're gonna be able to get your marketing stuff done in the next 3 weeks." And we've already provided some software for the Berrycast thing where he's literally just looking at his phone in his car talking about this. It doesn't have to be Gucci in order to do this. I just want to kind of show you exactly what he's doing just as an example here of what you can do. But you can record yourself and just put that video on there at the top of the thing, what you're going to talk about on the challenge. And so here's just a quick example.
What if I told you that when it comes to video marketing, it is all about strategically creating your videos so that when you're speaking to a specific audience segment, you have to create different videos to speak to that segment, which is I call them 3 different phases. There is audiences who don't know who you are, which is the cold audiences. who've never watched a video of you in the past. Phase number 2 is the warm audiences, people that's watched your stuff in the past. They kind of know who you are and maybe even opted into your email list. And number 3, phase 3, is basically the hot audiences, people who have bought stuff from you in the past. Now, how you speak to these 3 different segments has got to be very different. You are not going to speak to somebody who doesn't know who you are and ask them to buy stuff straight away. Now, this is what this page and this challenge is all about. I'm issuing you a challenge right now to create all of your marketing videos done in 21 days, where every single day I'm going to walk you through a very short training to tell you exactly what to do, what to say, the hooks that's already proven to convert, so that for every day you're going to create 7 videos for each different phases. 7 videos for the cold audiences, 7 videos for the warm audiences, and 7 videos for the hot audiences. So that
Okay, so you guys get the point there. But so he's just telling you what he's going to do. He's like, hey, for the next 21 days, we're going to make those marketing videos for you. You're going to do 1 per day. It's going to be 7 for the hot, 7 for the warm, 7 for the cold. And you're going to have 21 videos. I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm going to give you the kind of script of what things you need to do. You're going to make them. I'm going to make you do them because you're going to be with the rest of the crowd that's doing them, and you're going to look like a schmuck if you're not doing it. So you're going to do it. Everybody does because they feel guilty. They're going to do it. I give you the tools, and he just explains what he's going to do, and then you're going to pay him to join that stuff, right? So again, you don't think this is pre-recorded? It probably is, right? He just does it once, and it's on set and forget. So you could do this for your audience. Now this takes work, right? But that's I'm just providing ways that you can get people into your ecosystem, and it doesn't have to be fancy, right? You just do it once, but set aside some time, set it up, do one, and these build up over time. So again, that's video niche. Here's one, for example, for workouts. What they do is they give a starter PDF packet that gives instructions about the challenge, right? Instead of the video, they just give a little PDF when you send up for the email, and then they kind of walk you through that. But and we've gone over this in other webinars as well for making the lead magnets. That just is another way for you to send out that lead magnet. And inside of that PDF, they have links to the videos and links to other resources or whatever. So maybe the challenge isn't even a live video challenge or even a Zoom call. Maybe it's literally just a PDF. This one, they get a PDF with links to videos and a PDF with links to other products that they sell. But the challenge is actually written down in a PDF. So it doesn't even have to be, fancy or anything that you do live. Here's another one, 21-day challenge to becoming a fearless influencer that you're meant to be. All right. So this one is they have it on here. Has a nice little story on here, a video. Again, we've talked about doing that before. And then again, they just talk about what they're going to do for week 1, week 2, and week 3. And provide some other assets. Again, we talked about prizes, right? Hey, you get to the end of this, and we're going to give you some of these things, and then hey, it's $47. Again, it can be paid, can be not paid, but again, just an example of some of the stuff that it would look like. So here's an actual BD owner that has started doing some directories, or you may even recognize it, but she has her own challenge that she does called Fit Pros Connect. And she's got a little challenge that's called Sell Out Your Online Workout. It's 1 week, 1 goal, and her next one's in April 26th through 30. So, and she focuses on doing, for people that are transitioning, doing online physical trainers instead of doing it at a gym, actually doing it from their home, setting up a studio, and kind of charging for online virtual physical training and how to do that and level up for a profitable online workout business. And so she has an entire platform on this, selling online workout, and she just repetitively does these workshops for people to get on there. And so here's her website. You can, again, this is just growing your group. She's got a little workbook and workshop. Talking about the family, right? The Facebook family. She's got a Facebook Pros Connect, a Facebook group. And again, all these other big companies do that too, but you keep feeding new sets of people into your Facebook group, and maybe the only way they can get in there is if they join the challenge. And now everybody that you have that camaraderie, that everybody that's in that Facebook group has paid for and benefited from and taken her course, and everybody's on the same page, right? You don't have to go in there and going, what do these people know about a directory or what Facebook stuff? They already paid for and know and went to the same training, and everybody's at least on the same level or at least baseline level. And then we talked about recording them and replaying it. So here they are. She's recorded them. And so now she's got other lessons and other stuff from other previous shows live on her website and added them in here. And so just something that you can do. And then, here, by the way, is the Fit Pros directory. All right. And I'm going to talk to her about that. It looks like that's not linking properly. But so it goes to the directory, right, where people can avail themselves of that particular stuff. So, so bottom line is there's other BD owners that are doing that. Here's just one example. And so it really comes just down to execution and how you're going to do that. So let's talk about, finish up here with the execution, actually talking about the funnel and how you're going to set that up. So how are you going to execute this challenge and execute it? The first thing is you want to make it bite-sized, right? If you're overweight and you're not going to lose 50 pounds in 1 week, right? And so that would just sound ridiculous. So you're not going from A to B, you want to go from A to B, not from A to Z, right? You want to make it in bite-sized things. So maybe losing that first 5 pounds, right? Maybe enough for them to switch your mindset that it's actually possible, right? So maybe your whole shtick is I'm gonna teach you and make you lose those first 5 pounds and know that it's possible, and you can continue on the journey. Maybe with our continuous program there to lose more, but I'm going to show you the mindset that you need to continue, even if you don't continue on our program, to continue to lose weight over time. That you're going to learn that mindset technique in the next 7 days, whatever that is. So bite size, A to B, not A to Z. Make it a smaller transition for them. Again, it needs to be something that they can grasp. You want to make it accessible chunk content, right? And so not only is the goal bite size, like the entire 7-day challenge, that piece of the challenge needs to be bite size, but the actual content needs to be chunked and needs to be easily accessible. So what you don't want to do is say, hey, we're going to have a 7-day challenge. We're going to do 3-hour sessions every day for 7 days. And it's going to be awesome. And they're like, really, 3 hours? So it needs to be smaller chunks that they can separate or whatever, or maybe different types of content, maybe a short video, and then you have a workbook that they can look through, or maybe some links or whatever they need to go research or look at some stuff, or come up with a workbook where they have to, brainstorm or think of some stuff on their own. So have different types of content and make it accessible, right? And make it chunks so they can kind of group it or do it on their own. The third thing is you want it to be actionable, right? The last thing you want to do is have it so complex or so, unless they're at that point, right? But you don't want to have it like jump in the deep end of the pool and for them to just be like, I'm not even going to be able to do that. You want, or don't want it so many steps. This kind of goes to the bite size and chunked, right? But it needs to be in a small enough thing or an easy enough step where it's the old baby steps, right? Baby step to the door, right? Baby step to the, if you ever guys watched that movie. So it needs to be small actionable items. And then by the time they're at the end, they look back and they're like, wow, I didn't realize I went that far, right? The journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. So you want to be able to have them do small stuff, be able to see immediate success and know that you're going to be there, throughout the whole journey with them. The fourth thing is when you're doing that, you want to have an offer stack, right? And so what I mean by that is have maybe in addition to the challenge that you're providing, there's other stuff that they can do that you don't care. Like if this isn't going to help you do this thing, maybe this other thing will help you. Maybe it's a template. Maybe it's one-on-one calls where you do some consulting. Maybe it's a training, either one-on-one or group training, or just maybe a training resource that you provide. Maybe it's a tool. Maybe it's a product. Maybe it's an extended trial, right? Hey, for everybody that finishes our challenge, we're going to extend your trial for another 90 days, absolutely free, just to know that you're serious and are willing to go the extra mile. Or maybe you don't offer a free trial normally for a particular premium plan, but you're going to give them the sign-up link for that that premium trial with a 90-day trial on the premium plan if they do their challenge. So maybe that gets them over that payment hump that they wouldn't have otherwise done. So maybe you kind of withhold that. So there's just a couple examples, but have some stuff that you can spin off from there. And again, especially if you're doing it for free, if you're at that point and don't think you can charge or don't want to charge, having that offer stack to be able to have other stuff that they can avail themselves of is something that you want to have built in there. And again, the good thing of that, you can always add those things in later or add additional items. And the cool thing about having them chunked or having smaller training modules or training segments is that if you want to add additional content to one, let's say you want to focus on an initial training and during a certain section you want to talk about it, it's kind of hard to redo a 1 hour training, right? But if you had like a 7-minute video, you just have to redo that 1 7-minute video and then replace, that one video that you added the additional thing in, and you're good, right? So it's not like a huge long thing that you got to totally redo. So it makes that easier as well. The other thing you want to do is not only in just various offers, but even in the initial offer, you want to have other upsells or order bumps, right? So let's say that they want to have, and we've talked about this in previous webinars on those upsells and how you would do that. But maybe you during the sign up process, maybe the sign up thing is free, like, hey, 7-day challenge is free. But if you're willing and this is going to work for right now only, unless you leave the page here or for a limited time, we're going to give you an additional discount off from our premium plan, or maybe it's incentive to go to the end, right? So if you guys make it to the end, and I have one training program that does this, I do a military business or entrepreneur thing once in a while. Just to be on there. And they offer for everybody that completes their training, they have some extra bonuses at the end for somebody who has shown up to all of the 5 weeks straight training videos. If you make it and go to every meeting and or participate in those, and they kind of have the system actually tracks that, you then avail yourself of a training certificate at the end. You get an additional consultation with some business financing stuff that actually help you pro bono for free, try to find some business funding and some other stuff. And that's just an example there. You think about what that is for your niche. But basically, hey, if you get through this challenge, the challenge is free. But if you get to the end, I'm going to have some really cool features for you. And it entices people to stick to the end. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to buy that or pay that at the end. But for anybody that you got to go to the end that would have normally dropped off earlier just because they thought they might be interested in that, whatever you're going to offer them at the end, you're still getting that extra exposure to you, your brand, the community for all those different weeks or whatever that they would not have normally had. And again, all of that may add up to them buying another product at a later time if they don't want to do it now. And who knows, but that gives you that extra exposure to be top of mind at a later point. And then the final thing you want to do for the execution is you want to be able to engage the cohort somehow. You probably noticed on all these that are always online is there's always a Facebook pop-up, right? I just showed you that on the website a second ago, where they have a private Facebook group. Maybe you have a special discussion post access, right? So let me, I wasn't going to do this, but I'll just do it right now in the back end here. BD just opened up a discussion post type, if you guys are not aware of that. So let me just go to a random website here and show you how to do that if you have not done that before. What you're going to want to do is in your dashboard back end here, what you're going to want to do is check for updates. Okay. And what's going to happen when you check for updates there's going to be a new, if you haven't done this in a while, there's going to be a new one sitting here that's going to say right here, install discussions post type. So go ahead and click install on that. I'm going to do that right now. And that's how long it takes. And I'm not going to update all those other things. But what you're going to want to go to do is go to the My Content and Edit Post Settings. And you'll notice in your directory now, there will be this brand new discussion field and with discussion fields and discussion post type. And so what this basically is a forum is what it is. It's not exactly like a forum, but what allows people to do is to post a discussion post type. So when they log into their dashboard, it'll say add a discussion. So just like add an event or an article, they would add a discussion. And then when it goes to your page, which this is not a live website, but when they go to your page for the discussions, right, it would then have a list of discussion post types, and it basically becomes a forum. So if anybody posts a question or they post whatever it is, it's kind of like the articles, only it's just discussions. And then now that if you turn on the comments, the post comments in your site, so if you go here and you go to the comment settings and you enable the post comments, you can then enable for all post types, or if you only wanted it for certain ones, let's say you only wanted it for the discussion post type, you can click no and then engage it for the discussion post type and save that. And now you basically set up a forum with those two items. You have a discussion forum, and now you are allowing comments for the discussion forum. People can post stuff and then comment back and forth on your directory. And then the final thing is, once you do that, you're going to want to go into the membership plans. And because anytime you add a new or a new post type, it's not going to be selected for all the membership levels. So you're going to want to go in every single membership level that you want to be able to post to those discussion post types. And you're going to want to go in there and click the can post discussions and save that. And do that for every membership level. And then that will then be an allowable post type where they can post discussions and then obviously comment back on those. So that is a new item that is available in BD as of like last week. And so if you're not aware of that, that is how to install it and add it in there. And it's just like any other post type, right? Where they post it and people jump into that and start commenting. So you can do that with your website as well. Engage the cohort, do a Facebook group, do a new discussion post type in your BD directory, and actually engage those people. Because again, it's all about the community as well, and for them staying inside of your directory. So let's look at this visually on here. I did this on the directory simulator. Again, just kind of for you guys to visualize what this would look like again. And we've already talked about this. So we're just going to delineate it in a step-by-step process just so you know how it would work. So you have some sort of Google AdSense or some sort of traffic coming into your site, right? They're going to go to that page that we just saw, and that's the opt-in page. And so if they give their email address and sign up, they're going to go to that thank you page. And then after signing up, they're going to get that welcome email. And again, this is just a use case examples. You could have multiple emails, more emails, less emails, whatever. But they get that welcome email. And then in that welcome email, maybe you provide a link back to that content page or that PDF, right, with the content. And maybe they didn't avail themselves of that content, so you wait a day and send an email follow-up that also links back to that content page, right? So maybe you send a series of emails that comes back to the content page. Maybe that content page then maybe that has the video for that particular day. So maybe if it's a 7-day challenge, maybe there's 7 emails, right? And then each of those emails leads to a different content page every day, right? So it's basically 7 versions of this. And they go to different pages every day. Maybe on that page, right, once they read the content for that day, maybe you have a couple links to a special offer that's only available for that day. Maybe that page or that content in the PDF links to an actual sales page for another one of your products. This is kind of one of those upsells that we're talking about. So every day, every single one of those content pages has a sales page with an order form on that. And so again, you can kind of loop these back however you want. Or maybe let's go back to the beginning again. Maybe they don't, they go to the opt-in page, but they don't sign up and they try to leave your website, and then they get that pop-up, right? Which a couple weeks ago, we talked about the directory pop-up, where you can add that in there. Maybe it's an exit intent pop-up. So if they don't sign up and they go to leave, then they get the pop-up that says, hey, you don't want to take part of the challenge. Again, this is especially if you're charging for it. Sign up for our free newsletter, right? Or sign up for the cheaper. And maybe you don't want this. Maybe they want to pay $9 for a checklist to do it on their own, as opposed to paying $100 for the 3-week course or whatever. So give them a pop-up with that downsell, and then maybe you can get some conversion rates off from that. And again, I'll just demo this one out real quick on here. doing that. Again, you can have different setups on there. So let's say you have a second website on there for the particular content page. Let's say you had that that second content page, right? And let's say that that then you would just bring that email. Oops, I logged out there for too long, so I apologize. Let me just go to this. I already had it pulled up. So maybe you have that another content page that you can kind of do that. So just map it out however you want. But this is the general setup there of how it would work. And again, this takes time. But as we talked about earlier, as soon as you set this stuff up, right? Maybe it's live the first time and you have to record the videos, or maybe this is a Zoom call, a Zoom link on here for a particular page. But once you do that and record it, now you just put that video in here. It's not live anymore. And you just kind of put it on rinse and repeat. And once you set this up, you just it becomes that the lead into your ecosystem there. So I'll kind of stop there. I know we're getting close on the time, probably 10 or 15 minutes here till we need to kick off for today. But does anybody have any general questions on that, or comments, or just some insights on what maybe they would do for their directory, or how to execute that in BD or otherwise? Let me unmute everybody here. Any questions on that from anybody?
Not from me.
Toby, welcome. Olga, welcome. Neha, welcome. I need an official welcomer in the group there while I'm everybody jumps in while I'm talking. I don't. Some people probably jumped off, so I always like to say welcome, but hopefully nobody jumped off there while I was talking there. Hey, so any questions at all on that from anybody?
I do have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Olga. Hey, you're a little quiet though.
I don't know why there is something wrong with my microphone for a couple of days. About this discussion thing, it's very important. I was actually going to ring you even about this. I understand that I can clone this discussion post, and I can make as many as I need. And the main thing is about comments. Say if the conversation goes into a direction that I don't want it to go, is there a setting that I can actually approve those comments beforehand?
Yes. And again, it was really quiet, so I'll just repeat that. I think you're asking if is there a moderation piece to the comments if you want to remove or approve them, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So inside of the comment settings there, oops, let me make sure I'm switching to content. There we go. So inside of let me go back there again. Inside the post, my content, post comments in the comment settings. Let me enable that again. There's an option here called moderate comments before being published. And so that is a yes. And then you could also change it by the membership plan. So maybe if they're paying you the gold member, you don't care what they say because they're paying you $2,000 a month to be part of the directory. I don't care what you say. You paid for it. You can say whatever you want. But everybody else, I'm going to moderate. So you can actually moderate the bronze level and the silver, for example, but not the gold. And that's basically what it is. And then what it would be is inside of the post comments, you would have just like the reviews. There would be in here with the, who said it, what the post was, what the comment was, and you could bulk and, change status to accepted, right, or declined, or whatever you want to do and you can do it pretty fast, and you can just read it real quick there. Is that kind of what you're looking for?
Yeah. And the first thing was about cloning the discussion thing. So basically, as far as I could understand from the BD webinar, I can clone this discussion post and create as many as I like. For example, I create a membership called Olga, and there's another one called Ryan, and I can create a discussion.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, it's just like any other post type. In fact, there's nothing special about the discussion post type. Other than that, they made all the components for you by clicking a button. But they've been telling people to do that for a long time, and everybody keeps saying, "I need a forum thing," and then they basically told people to do that, and they thought it wouldn't work, and then they just made it a button. Now everybody loves it. But there's nothing special from that post type that you couldn't have done a year or two years ago, or many more years ago. It's just a regular post type. So to answer your question, you can clone the crap out of that thing, just like all the rest of the post types. You can have 50 different discussion groups. So let's say you have a discussion forum on legal support, right? Or discussion forum on immigration law, discussion forum on whatever. So you can make a different discussion post type for each one of those. And each one can be searched independently. They can be locked down independently. So different membership levels only have access to certain ones, or you can lock it down that all of the advanced people with the doctorate degrees in marketing, right, are in the gold membership level forum. And the only way you're going to get in to rub elbows with those PhDs of marketing is if you pay to be the gold membership, because only gold members have access to that forum. So you can do it. So bottom line is the same options, same capabilities and potential for the that one, just like every other post level.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So has anybody done a challenge before, or I mean, maybe want to do one? I mean, like, so let's. Hey,
Ryan.
Yeah, go ahead, Rich. Yeah.
I've done this kind of manually, but I'm just trying to follow along of how you scale this or put it on autopilot or automation, because I've done that occasionally where I see somebody fill out half a profile or just put in their name and email and just then walk away. And obviously it's not a win for anybody, not for me, not for them, but for our fellow members, all that good stuff. It kind of defeats the whole purpose. So I've reached out to them just like a chat and saying, hey, if you'll complete your profile in the next 24, 48 hours, whatever, I'll feature you as a featured member of the homepage. And that's worked almost every time. But two questions is, one, I don't really know how to kind of automate or scale that and monitor whose profile is complete, whose is not, how to notify them, how to track that they have updated it. And the other piece is that I mainly just use the messaging, the direct message, and I'm hoping that goes into their inbox. So some of that you can kind of control, but it's the earlier part of the conversation of, are you proposing in this system, or do you have a situation where nothing's to be perfect, but there's a way to monitor.
Sometimes on the automation piece, sometimes it's as simple as them getting them to finish up the last part of the system. So I'm going to try to find an example here that I had from a BD site, but
because I can manually look at the recent members and see the last 20 people or so that joined or whatever, and mainly the indicator is if they've uploaded their photo and social media, that shows me there's some activity. But the member that just logs in, username and password, has the default icon and no information, that's obviously a red flag. But sometimes I have to manually look at their actual profile to see if it's complete. And then again, I've had people complete it like 2 weeks later. So how would I know that they've, updated it if I'm just looking at the recent, 10 members or so?
Yeah. So here's an example of a site real quick. Hold on, let me. Okay. So
while you're.
So here's an example. And you have this on yours for the dashboard, right, or like a widget. So here's what somebody else is doing, another BD client, where you just say, hey, here's step one, do this.
Right.
Step 2, complete your profile, and they tell them to look, under managed listings, whatever. Step 3, join my community. So that kind of goes in the Facebook thing again. And then this is kind of what I was saying about having them manually close the loop. Like step 4,
Okay.
email us here to let us know that your profile is complete. So
Okay.
like do all this stuff, and then if you want the goodie, you want to be featured. I'm not looking at this. I'm not automating that. My
Right.
automation step is you. Like email me and tell me that it's complete, and I'm going to automatically upgrade you to the whatever, right? So that's just one way to do it in terms of automation. Is just it's them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I've done that occasionally, like on LinkedIn or whatever. I'll say, just hit me back once you've gotten your profile 100%. So you're proposing we would kind of send that in an email sequence. If you haven't already done so, because maybe they have, maybe they haven't, but if you haven't already done so, I mean, I did automate as soon as they join, I modified that entire email confirmation instead of just saying, used to say, welcome aboard, thanks for joining. Now it shows it like a screen capture of like a sample John Smith member profile, and then it says, congratulations on completing step 1. Now click here to go to step 2, and it goes to the dashboard. On the dashboard, we have Alex does the video,
right,
showing how to complete their profile, but I have to manually see if they've completed it. So what you're saying is just have a second email go out. If you completed it, reply back kind of thing, I guess.
Yeah. And again, sometimes it's you set them up as these webinar things where sometimes you can set them up as the evergreen webinar stuff too, right? So maybe somebody is on the call live or whatever, and you're taking it like, all right, and maybe you're like, hey, we can't get to everybody on the chat there, or we can't, or maybe you don't have a chat to say, hey, we can't get to everybody's stuff today, so follow along. And then like you just run through it and like, okay, now that we got these things done, for everybody, I did a couple here on the call, and again, just have somebody on there that you're doing it with.
Right.
For everybody else who weren't able to verify there, just go ahead right now, or after you're done, shortly after the webinar here, just go ahead and zap us that email with your profile name or whatever. We'll go take a look at it, and we'll go ahead and upgrade you. And then that's in the webinar, and now you're just playing the webinar over again, and it's like you're telling them like right now to email me,
Right.
And so you can kind of play that game with the evergreen piece as well if you have a system for replaying that, or you just put it in the Berrycast video or whatever you're recording, right? And you're just embedding that into the page, whatever the video is for that particular content page. Just put that in the video.
Ryan?
Yes.
Sorry to jump in. A couple of things. That wording that you just had up there on the screen just a minute ago, was that off a website that we can all go and look at, or?
Well, it's in the back end dashboard or whatever. So I'm not going to log into their site without getting permission on the webinar to do that. I just happen to have that the image there of what we had done in there, just since that came up as the question. But okay. I'll ask if she minds pushing that out to everybody. But
right. The other one is Neha was trying to say something, but apparently was having microphone issues. So I did suggest you put her questions in the chat, but
excellent.
I don't know if she's still on. She's muted. There we go. So
you're my forum moderator. Appreciate it, Toby.
She's muted, so unmute her maybe.
Yeah, let me go see. There you go. Neha, are you good? Can you hear me?
That really was microphone issues.
Well, I mean, yeah, she was muted. She's unmuted now. Neha, go ahead and talk. Otherwise, just put it in the chat there. She does have a child there, probably, so maybe they distracted her.
The other thing was, has the timing changed for this webinar? Because I seem to have jumped on an hour late.
No,
it's the same time.
Oh, we had daylight savings time.
You've had it already.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah. We did. I guess we did jump up ahead an hour.
I didn't think about that until I said it out loud because time hasn't changed for us. But yeah.
Yes, I think we're 4 hours difference now instead of 5.
Yeah. Okay.
Which ironically is for they just put a thing in Michigan here to get rid of daylight savings time and just keep become the Arizona of the Midwest here and not change. So we'll see if that passed or passes. I don't remember if they voted or not. So I did not. This is my first time change on the webinar. So sorry about that.
Okay. I only got one email today. The one from you at Directory Toolkit. I didn't get the other ones.
Yeah, I turned off. I turned off the other one. I just forgot to turn it on, I guess, because I didn't want it to send out automatically last week when I wasn't doing it. So
okay, because those other ones are really useful because it tells you you're about to start, and then you can pay attention.
Got it. Yep. I was wondering why there were a couple people were late today, and I didn't think about the time change. So that totally explains it. I don't know what Rich's excuse was, but that makes sense for you.
I was grabbing lunch.
I jumped onto Rich mumbling away, and I thought, what's going on?
My family often has the same comments. Yeah, when I'm mumbling away, what's going on with Rich?
Well, as usual, Toby, you missed the $200 giveaways.
Oh yeah.
So maybe you'll show up on time Wednesday.
We actually drew your name first, but you had to be present to win. So yeah.
Spread the love. Let everyone else have it.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, I don't know if this is kind of switching gears or whatever, but what I mentioned earlier about the email notifications from some of the forums, I'm getting some, and then on some leads, like I had a recent member that they submitted a lead and it qualified for say 40 some odd people, but on my
so let me talk to that real quick. I don't know if they're doing something or having some email sending glitches or whatever, but some other you're not the only one that's mentioned that recently. And the only thing, and I haven't reached out to BD to say this, but let me just throw this out here as an example, just so you guys are aware of that. They've changed some of the form settings and the layout and look of that in the back end. So if you're not familiar, or I guess if you're not familiar with it, it's all good because you didn't know what it looked like before. But if you go into the actions for the customize in here, they kind of redid this. Obviously, if you haven't seen the buttons and all the turn off, turn on thing, they've changed this, and they're getting ready to have this squashed over, so they have the field or the form preview right here inside of the dashboard. So that's kind of why it's kind of squashed. It'll be this will be on the left-hand side here, and then the actual form will be embedded here, so you can see all your changes live without having to go to the page. So that's coming up. That's why it looks like that. Inside there, though, in the
because I'll get like instead of getting copied, it used to be someone would be copied to my Gmail address or to my email address, and then and now I'm not getting those. I'll look at my dashboard, and all of a sudden I'll see my email number increase, and I have to go in there and actually look at them, but I'm not getting an alert.
Yeah, so let me. I just had to save this form, so it's a custom form, so I can open it up real quick. In this site, just give me a second.
Well, that's like I said, the same thing on leads. I don't know if you kind of cap a member at only getting. I think she qualified, for I'll say 40 some odd leads, but I accepted pretty much all of them as I moved them to pending. And so when I moved them to pending, that would mean like she would get an alert, I would get an alert, and then the other member getting connected would get an email, right?
Assuming you have that set up in the lead settings. So what I'm going to show you is not the lead settings.
You're no longer sharing.
Yeah, I know.
Say it again, Toby.
I know.
Because,
I had to turn it off real quick to go do something.
I mean, it was kind of what's weird. It was kind of working, and it wasn't, because say I confirmed or put 40 leads in pending. As the admin, I only got like 6 or 8 email alerts, not the other ones. So I don't know if
Yeah, let me go see if they changed those settings as well, because this
Okay.
changed. I just want to show you this. They have this new copy shortcode here, really prominent, but in the form settings up here, if you edit the form settings, they really reduced some of the stuff in the layout and moved it around. So now it just has this submission settings tab. There used to be 5 tabs.
Right.
There's now only 3. So submission settings, you can display pop-up, redirect your URL. If you pick redirect your URL, you put the URL here, and then in the email notifications, this is now blank. It says enter admin email addresses to notify, and there's nothing in here. So I
manually put it in there.
I think you may have to manually put that in here now, where you didn't used to before. Because what it used to be in there, it used to say additional admins or like
Right.
addresses to notify or something. But now I think this always was blank. And it just automatically used the admin on your main site, and it may still work like that, but somebody else was having problems with that, and there's this one for this form that what they weren't getting the emails was blank. So I don't know if everybody has to go in there and now add an admin email address to notify in any particular form that they want to get automatically submitted to. So I would go in those, and at least for all the big forms or whatever, just make sure your support thing is in there. And then anytime you edit or make a new form, make sure you put that in the email notifications thing. Because I'm assuming, and it doesn't say that, and I'm going to ask them if it does do that automatically to put that in there, that you can leave it blank. It's just going to use the admin support thing. But I don't know if this is the cause of the problem where they changed something in the back end, and now if that's blank, it just doesn't send that email.
Yeah, I'm looking at mine now as you speak, and email notifications. No, it's got my email address, info@podcastersdirectory.com, is auto filled in there.
Okay, all right. So I'm not sure then.
It says email website admin.
Ryan, I think it's empty when you clone it for the first time, or you customize it for the first time.
Right, but I'm just saying, like for this one example, I've customized my contact us form by adding something in there, but I didn't add an address. So if that's blank, that's my question. I don't know if you customize anything, like customize some forms, do I now have to go into form settings and add that admin email because I customize it and it's looking for a value there? Otherwise, it's not going to send it. I don't know.
And when it here under the submission settings, it says successful, say pop-up message. How do I see what that message reads? Where do I see what that message would say? I mean, I can redirect it to another page, I guess, but
so I've asked this. I have a ticket in, not for that particular item, but I'll edit right there. The success message and text labels right there.
Text labels.
Oh, it's under. So I'm switching to my account.
So maybe they did that because I asked them. I was telling them before that they have a bunch of these in the system. Like there'll be something on email. It'll say, "Would you like to send them an email that you have approved the post?" Right? And it says yes. Notify them. And rightfully so. People are asking, well, what is that sending them? Like, what template is that? What template is that sending them? So I click yes. I have no clue what people are getting. I don't know what the template is. So I was like, you guys need to add that in the pop-up or like add that in there somewhere so people know, like when they click yes, that they've edited that or it makes sense or it doesn't have some gobbledygook or gibberish in there that they don't want to message or whatever.
I mean, when I clicked on it, it just pulls up another window and all it just says is your message has been sent. That's pretty generic or whatever. So at least we can customize that.
You can add HTML settings into it.
Yeah, let me take this phone call.
Yeah, somebody needs a new ringtone.
Yeah, Global Podcast Studios.
For sure.
I'll mute him real quick. All right, so anybody else have any other stuff there before we kick off here? Yakin, thank you for doing some presenting and throwing some stuff out there at the beginning. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Oh, I missed it. Oh my god.
Can join at any time and tout your wares whenever you would like. Feel free to come in. Yolga, did you say something?
Yeah, I said that I always miss important things because I can never start at the right time because it's always I'm doing something at this time important, and when you're saying something important, I always miss it.
Well, lucky for you, and great segue, Olga, and we will finish up with this for everybody. Just as a reminder, if you want to watch any of these lovely items that you missed, just go to directoryvideos.com, directoryvideos.com. That will forward to our YouTube channel and all of the replays in their full unedited glory, because unlike BD, who apparently has somebody that can make some lovely edits of their webinars, I do not do that. So you get the full Monty of unedited, unadulterated, full 2 hours of fun every time for every webinar. But here they are, all the webinars 1 through 33. So Olga, if you missed last week's item or the lead funnels there you go. From 2 weeks ago, you can click there and watch the entire webinar. And this one, number 34, will be up there momentarily after the webinar for today. If you want to listen to it again today and have nothing better to do. In fact, you can watch some NCAA basketball tonight, not listen to the basketball sound, and listen to us talk while you're watching basketball. So there's an option as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, guys, I got another meeting coming up shortly. So thanks for joining, and we'll talk to you guys next week. And if you guys want to get notified of the videos or whatever, go ahead and hit subscribe there, like 37 other people have. There we go. There's my social share for the day. Let's try to get that up to 100. Tell everybody to subscribe to that. We'll get that up, but that'll get you that notification whenever that goes live, and you'll be able to listen to that stuff. So thanks, guys. Look forward to talking to you guys. Actually, and I want to throw this out there again, just as not a disclaimer, but just to make sure everybody knows what we're doing. Frank is doing his, I guess, more just marketing stuff every other week, and I'm going to be doing these webinars every other week in the same format that I'm doing. So next week I will not be doing the webinar. It's going to be in 2 weeks, and Frank will have his next week. So if you're not signed up for that, get a hold of Frank or look out on the directory for that info and get signed up for his. I think you just go to directoryaccelerator.com, I think, and you can get on there to sign up for that. But what I'm going to do, start doing eventually in a short order here is for everybody that's in my membership on the site that other week that we're not doing the open forum for everybody. We'll have a more specialized kind of discussion help thing for all the directory toolkit services and other stuff that we're going to do on the directory. So that'll be every other week for members, and then every other week for everybody. So I guess members would probably want to do it every week. Everybody else will just be every other week for these kind of topics. So hopefully that makes sense. But I'll be starting that soon, but mine will be in 2 weeks, and I'll have that up on the directorywebinar.com for the next session. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. And I'll see you guys, I guess, in 2 weeks,
Right,
hopefully.
Just
Go ahead.
1 second. I wanted to attend Frank's webinar, but I